Hey YouTube, Ultra Magnum here, and today we're taking a look at Cang Toys Ferocious, which is a masterpiece representation on Rampage of Predacon fame. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Okay, here we go. In terms of accessories, he comes with a blaster and a sword. The blaster's really nicely done actually. It's got good detailing on it, and you can extend it for bot mode or collapse it for the tiger mode, which we'll show in a second. Paint wise, it's grey plastic. The orange is painted, and obviously it has the tampograph there, which is a theme across the bot, which we'll show off. Finish wise, there's just a couple of little bits of scuff around the seams of the blaster, so they're the only kind of critical points that I can note. It looks beefy and it looks good actually. The sword is good. It looks good. The finish on this is nice, and it has the nice silver paint on there as well. Quality wise though, it feels a little bit light in the hand, and the translucent grey plastic there, it just gives it a little bit of a cheapness to it, if you like. The blaster sits in the hand with a masterpiece style tab and sits in snugly, no issues. And the same is true of the sword. I'm not going to include this in the scoring, but just to show it off as an accessory, you do also get the hand for Predacon, and this is immaculately well sculpted and painted. You've got a die-cast piece on the top there. Looks fantastic. You can also transform this as well. So if you get the hand for, presumably it'll come with dive bomb when we get that, you can connect those together and transform them into a crab, which is great. I'll show that off when that comes. Now before I do this, I will warn you, he's very squeaky, so apologies for the sound. Okay, the head is on a ball and can swivel all the way around. It's got a good up and a good down. The arms are on a ratchet, and interestingly, the ratchet is actually on the outside, which I don't think I've seen before. So you can actually see the tab of the ratchet there, and it clicking as you move it. Now I don't know how this will hold out over time. It looks quite thin, that piece, but for now it's doing a good job. So the ratchet will allow you to get a full rotation all the way around. You can extend as well, fully out to the side. There's a double pin there and here, so that's good. The arms have a bicep swivel. These are very tight when you first get it, but after you've moved them a bit, they do loosen up. The elbow is on a double hinge, which is good, and the hands are really good actually. I really like these. All fully articulated, the fingers at the knuckle and at the base, and an articulated thumb, but they're not loose, they're just nicely tight. It looks good actually. The waist is a full swivel all the way around, no issues, and you also get an ab crunch. It's super tight this, but it is there. I think you might even be able to get another click. So that's all good. For the legs, you've got individual hip skirts to the front and the side. Out to the front gets you up to there. To the side, fully out. That's great. It's a ratchet sideways actually, and tension to the front. For the knees, they're on a single. You can kind of move this a bit if you want a little bit more range, but you can get a good enough on the backwards there. The feet have got an excellent rocker, side to side, and loads back and loads front as well. In terms of steadiness, he's super steady. He's got big chunky feet, which helps, but there's just a nice weight distribution to the figure. It's all round, the posability actually is excellent stuff. The only critical point is that there's no butterfly on the shoulders, but apart from that, really good. 9 out of 10. If we start with the paint, it's painted all over apart from the greys, which are just plastic. There's not much of it though, and it doesn't detract from the overall look of the figure. The colours themselves are an excellent choice. I mean, they fit and they work. This is Predacon coloration. It looks good, the colour choices. The stylized kind of tampographies are everywhere, and they just add to the detail and make it kind of pop. The actual colors themselves are this metallic speckled finish, which I think is almost a norm these days for masterpiece figures. So overall, the paint looks sensational at a glance. But when you get up close, you notice that some of the applications not 100%. So particularly around the face, there are some spots where it's not fully finished. And also I've got a couple of little chips here and there on mine, which were straight out of the box. They were there. Cleanup wise, the figure is really good. From the front, he looks great. From the side, I mean, you've got the tiger head sticking out the chest, but that's in keeping with the character, that's fine. I think from the back, just a couple of critical points. I don't like paws kind of sticking out the back of the hand, and also there's the tail here. That might just be me, but in terms of overall look at the back, they're just there. Critical point, but there you go. Quality wise, the figure's got a great heft to it. He's made of super solid, chunky plastic, and he feels absolutely great. There are a couple of die-cast metal bits, but they're for stylized effect. So this bit on the side and the pistons on the front there, nice touches rather than kind of necessary bits, if you like, to make it feel more solid. I think for me, the biggest criticism in terms of quality is this on the back of the head, where they've put a light piping effect, but it just means a great big chunky clear plastic bit on the back of the head. And I kind of think, well, if you want lighter buys, just put lighter buys in it. You know, it's a masterpiece figure, it's a masterpiece price, so give it that kind of touch. It just detracts from it. And also you've got this part of the back which looks hollow, and there's a ball peg there visible in quite a prominent place on the figure. So I'm not a fan of that kind of exposed kind of stuff. And again, just around the neck there, clear translucent plastic. They just take away a little bit from the masterpiece feel. So the overall quality could have been great on this figure, but there are a few critical points, so 7 out of 10. So here he is next to Op Leader, and you can see he's a proper big, beefy, domineering masterpiece bot. And you could kind of take this in several ways. So on an individual basis, I would prefer individual Predacons to be in keeping with the car bots, or a little bit taller, something in that range. Certainly not up to the height of Optimus, and certainly not a little bit beefier. Now, on the flip side, I would want my Predacon, when fully combined, to be huge and domineering and beastie. But that's not what this is about. This is about scaling this bot with the other masterpiece range, and he is too big, no doubt. So 7 out of 10. So I'm not going to show the full transformation in this video because I want to keep this edit tight and just stick to the review of the figure. But I will post a separate video showing the transformation if you want to check that one out as well. So in terms of transformation, this figure, I think it's fun to transform, definitely. It's a good design scheme for the transformation. However, it's spoiled by some of the engineering choices, and it's really strange because this figure is well built, it's got fantastic materials in it, die cast and things like that, and so much care has been put into the look and the quality of the figure, that to have a few pivotal points in the transformation done with, if you like, less quality, it just seems it's a little bit at odds. And the 2 points are, for me, this chest piece and the way that you're rocking these pieces down on the side on really tight double hinges that affect the integrity of the plastic on the inside. That's a little bit off, definitely, but most certainly these pieces on the legs, because you've got multiple swivels, multiple rotations, all reliant on one small bit of plastic that is set too tightly. And you know, there is tightness all over this figure, and great, that generally that's a good thing, but on this piece of small plastic where there's multiple turns that you have to do, I think that's a poor choice. And I'm surprised actually, if this had been metal, that would have really worked, or if it had been done in a slightly different way, this would have worked, because overall it's a fun and intuitive transformation. It's just spoiled by a little bit of the engineering. So overall, 5 out of 10. Okay, on to alt mode, and I'll just start off by saying it looks sensational. It looks as incredible in hand as it does on the photos and on the screen. It is a knockout figure, absolutely. The cleanup's exceptional. There's nothing visible of bot left over. It just looks great, and the couple of little niggles that were there in terms of quality in bot mode are not present in this. Everything is finished nicely. The color schemes work great. It's obviously not G1 Toon. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's a stylized version of Rampage, and it just works all over in that respect. Articulation wise, everything's articulated at all the major joints, including elbows and feet, and you can move all of these around. The tail moves. There's even a waist swivel. The head's on a ball joint. Not much up, but that's fine. You know, this guy's so big, he's going to be looking down anyway. The jaw moves. You've got the die-cast bits that are kind of accenting it here and there. I think these are die-cast. I'm not too sure actually, but I think they're very sharp, whatever they are. Overall, it's an incredible looking alt mode. 10 out of 10. And just for reference, here he is in arm mode, and it is absolutely huge. This combiner is going to be gigantic. I'm estimating, I think, probably somewhere between 55 and 60 centimeters, something like that, just based on the length of the arm alone. It looks incredible, actually. It's so well detailed and sculpted, and you've got the nice finish of the hand and the articulation on the fingers and the claw-like effect. It just looks great. I think this is going to look fantastic once it's combined up. There we have it, a final score of 7.7 out of 10. This figure's got a sensational looking alt mode, a great looking bot mode, and he's highly articulate. All three things that you would want in a masterpiece figure. Quality wise, up close, there are definitely a few issues in terms of paint application, and in terms of the engineering that supports the transformation, there are definite issues. And if you watch the transformation video, you shouldn't have to loosen screws to make things work, and you shouldn't have really tight clearances that the plastics just can't take. So a couple of issues, but overall it's a good figure, and I think I'm definitely going to get the next one in the series, and I'll put these guys together and show them off on the channel to see how this set pans out. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and bye for now.